Yeah.
LSAT Mindset Advice. Hi, Nathan. Reaching out for some mindset advice. I've been feeling myself really learning in the last month. I've repeatedly gotten 22 out of 23 I attempt on logical reasoning, 24 out of 27. That's the whole section in reading comp, and 20 out of 23 on games. Last week, I got a 167 for the first time after being stuck in the low 160s for a long time. By the way, this is a student of mine from San Francisco from 3 years ago, who's
Wow.
now back studying with us in the Demon.
So what we actually recommend is a 3-year study plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, the point is like, this is a student who has that burning desire to practice law.
Yep.
And, in my class, I think she was in the maybe even 140s and 150s. And now she's coming back to the Demon years later, and she's struggling in the low 160s, which is a step in the right direction. But now all of a sudden, this breakout to 167. She says, however, I'm finding myself making excuses for doing well. I'm finding it difficult to believe I am doing as well as I am? Question mark. I've noticed when I'm confident but slow and focused, I'm ruthless. I don't want to second guess my growing ability to tackle this test and lose the measured confidence I often need to get 20 logical reasoning questions straight in a row. I don't know if you've ever gotten a question like this before. Any advice on how to talk to myself to start believing that I'm putting in the work and it's coming to fruition? Best A. I wanted to put this on the agenda because this is a question that I get all the time. I mean, I've had dozens, if not hundreds of students say this.
Yeah.
People think the test is harder than it actually is, frequently because they've struggled at it earlier in their LSAT career. And then when they actually start doing the test properly, right? She's got good form here. 22 out of 23 attempted on LR, randomly guessing on the last couple questions in the section because who cares?
Yeah.
24 out of 27 in reading comp. A little room for improvement there, right? Like accuracy is good, but could be better.
Yep.
20 out of 23 on games means you need to keep hammering the games and get to perfection on the games because people do. But all of a sudden 167, well, yeah, because you've learned a lot about the test. Mostly you've learned to go calmly and carefully and solve each question, picking the right answer and eliminating the wrong answers. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but when you do it that way, then yeah, you get 20 in a row right at the beginning of your logical reasoning section. Yep. And if you get 20 in a row right at the beginning of your logical reasoning section, it hardly even matters what you do after that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Do you have any like specific advice for her other than just, yes, this is how it feels when you get good at the test?
I think that's good advice. I think your advice too, to recognize that the test is easier than you think it is good advice, because what you're essentially doing is you're projecting that belief out there, right? You're saying, hey, like the way you're thinking about the test as being hard is incorrect. I was thinking about this. For some reason, I keep thinking about like meditation or things like that. Like, I wonder if A needs to become more aware of thoughts that just come out of nowhere and recognizing them as such and not just instantly accepting them. I think that's like what meditation is all about, is like becoming aware of what you're aware of, right? Like if she's sitting there and she does well on a test and then she thinks to herself, or he thinks to himself, wait, I can't remember he or she, but like, oh, this can't be real. I'm not really this good. Well, that's a thought that came from somewhere. You don't have to believe it. But sometimes we just accept all thoughts that come into our mind because they came into our mind. I don't know, becoming a little more distant from like recognizing thoughts for what they are and that are just momentary ideas that sometimes pop into our head out of our control.
So like thinking about it, she has this thought come through her head like, oh, but I was in the 160s for so long.
Yeah,
167's got to
this
be an
must be a
anomaly.
fluke. Yeah. Say, I mean, grapple with it as truthfully as you can. It certainly could have an element of luck in there, but you can only be so lucky. So, and do you understand these questions as you review them? I mean, just as we tell people to review sections when they do poorly, when someone does well and doesn't believe it, start reviewing it and ask yourself, do I really understand this question? Do I really understand that one? Or is there some element of guessing going on here? And if you feel good about all of them, the score is just the sum of those questions. So then it is legit.
Yeah, there's something there, huh? One question at a time, knowing that you have solved it before you even hit submit, feeling really confident. Yeah, I'm getting this one right. Move on to the
Mhm.
next one. Yep, I'm going to get, yep, I got that one right too. And without, independent of the answer key, just
Mhm.
this habit of knowing that you're solving the question correctly before
Yeah.
moving on to the next one, which it sounds like she's done. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, my final word on the matter is we see people improve by 20 points all the time.
Yep.
So, like, yeah, you broke out now to this new higher level, hopefully, of scoring. There's going to be ups and downs, but there's going to be more ups than downs generally. If you're studying with us, going about things the right way, you're understanding the test better and better every day, and your scores are eventually going to reflect that. Your average scores are certainly going to reflect that if you keep at it for long enough. So yeah, I mean, it's not, people don't really, for one, they don't tend to get really lucky on the upside. It's hard to get lucky on the up, to get really lucky. It's just
Mhm.
not, you don't just out of nowhere like go from 152 to 167. That never, literally never happens.
Yeah.
It's not luck if that happens, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So you're doing all the right things. Hundreds of students just like you have said this exact same thing to me in the past. Like, it's the old thing of, oh, well, that was just an easy test, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was just an easy section, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, easy for you because you're good at the test now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to make her believe that, but it's just, it's not uncommon in the slightest that people have this feeling. Is this real? Yeah, it's real.
Your work is paying off.